Welcome to the Dowden Podcast. I'm your host, the official CRG, and today we are going to talk about cities around the United States and why it's crucial to keep them clean and safe for not only people, but for economic growth in today's society. But before we get started, make sure to leave a like and follow down below. That way you don't miss any weekly episodes and alerts. But with that said, you can find video of this episode strictly on YouTube, but the audio everywhere else. Now, the reason I want to talk about this today is because I've lived in the city my entire life. I've seen things constantly change and the people changing with it, and it isn't just my city. It's everywhere. And it's not for the better. You see, back then, everyone wanted to go to these big cities. They were known for the greatest stores, the greatest restaurants, the greatest shopping malls. They had everything, and it was a place that everyone went to escape. But now everything's kind of reversed. Now everyone wants to leave the city. They're escaping the city instead of going there to get away and have fun. And that's just simply because they're not the safest anymore. Now, yes, I understand that every city in the United States is completely polluted or filled with crime. But the ones that are, those are the ones that we're talking about, because these cities aren't like this just because. They were turned into this, and there's a reason why for each city, but nobody really wants to pay attention to. You see, people don't realize that a city itself, it's just a set of buildings. Without humans, it serves no purpose. So, however you handle your situations or even your business, it doesn't only affect you, but your city. And you probably think, man, I live in New York with millions of people. What I do doesn't affect anything. But that right there is the problem, because everything you do affects everything. Showing up to work is the reason your city is still running. Throwing your trash away is the reason your city is still clean. Or going to choose to fight somebody instead of picking up a gun is the reason your city is safe. So making those decisions don't only affect you, but everybody around you. And that's the most crucial thing that people need to realize, because a city isn't anything without a community or without its people. So, no matter what your job is or what you do to make money, your city is based off your actions. If you're running around robbing and stirring stuff up, that reflects on your city. Because now you have normal civilians who are scared to go out at certain times or scared to go down certain places. And now small businesses and shops all go out of business because they don't have that customer support or that income. Also, when it comes to individual states, the states rely on the cities and people because cities bring the most income and foot traffic. So if the cities are bad, the state now feels it, and which then doesn't just affect a set of people, but then everyone in that specific state. And that's a major problem because, like I said, the states rely a lot on our cities for income. And if that stops, then states can't expand further and develop economically, which then can affect nations and other states because we all rely on each other for something like goods or mechanics. Each state or each nation, we all support each other through something. So if we can't support ourselves and our own people, how are we going to support somebody else? So, cities are the main source for economic growth in today's society, and without them, states would not be able to function the way they do today. So, no, cities aren't falling apart yet, but if we stay on the same pace about not speaking up about the pollution or the crime or whatever's happening with government or suppression, then the prettiest cities will fall, causing a loss in millions of jobs and homes worldwide. And that will cause a major lack in funding, and it will affect everybody. But with that said, today's quote is by Bill Gates. He once said, "Until we're educating every kid in a fantastic way, until every inner city is cleaned up, there is no shortage of things to do." I appreciate you guys tuning in. You can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And this is the Dowden Podcast.